Hello and welcome to The Middle. I'm Gail Condi, your host, and if you're just joining the show, welcome. The middle came from the idea that when you're going through something and you're in the middle of it, that's when it starts to feel like, does anyone understand? Am I alone? Is this going to go on forever? One of the analogies I like to think about is a wilderness experience. If you read the Bible, you'll know the story of the children of Israel, and they had a really long wilderness experience. It was 40 years of wandering. And in that experience, they had manna come to them, and they wandered and wandered, and they learned things, and they had experiences. And then every day, God provided this food for them so that they would have what they need. I think what's unique about us is that we're having maybe very personal wilderness experiences that we're in the middle of, but there's parts of this that everyone can share. Did the children of Israel know they were going to wander for 40 years? I'm guessing not. I think that experience frames exactly what we're going to try to talk about on this show. That whether we're talking about divorce or chronic illness or mental health or grief, that when you sometimes start in an experience in your life, most of us don't know how long it's going to go. And that's the hard part of it. Sometimes I panic when I'm going through some difficult times because I'm thinking, if this is how my rest of my life is going to be, there's no way I can do it. And we're going to talk about that with our guests, and I'm going to share some experiences I've had of being in the middle. When we're in the middle, one of the other things I've noted is that there's helpers that show up along the way, and there's manna that comes. And some of our guests are going to share what they have found that have been their manna. What are their helpers? Who has shown up to help them through these wilderness experiences? Wilderness experiences are also really interesting because we're usually asked to leave something that's comfortable. So if you've been diagnosed with a chronic illness, or you've just found out that one of your kids is struggling with an addiction, you're leaving what was the normal, what was comfortable. And now you're in this experience that you don't know how long it's going to go. You're not knowing quite how to navigate it. And you can panic at times. I know I have. I've gone through experiences like the loss of my sister. She died by suicide. And the grief after that was very unique and specific. I struggled at times to feel like that nothing was ever going to feel happy again. And I remember that when I looked back on that first year after she passed, I could see so many opportunities where there were helpers, where I had experiences where I learned, where I changed for the better, even though the grief felt so heavy. We're going to talk about those things here at The Middle. Most of us are in the middle of something right now. We're either in the middle of something as a global community, as a faith community, as a family, or as an individual. And there's not that perfect ending yet. We're not sure where it's coming. I hope on this show, you'll be able to tune in and find ways to strengthen your faith and your hope that you can get through whatever you're in the middle of, that you'll find ideas about where your manna could come from, where the helpers are, and that you'll have hope and faith because you'll talk to someone through this show that has been through that same middle as you. Even if we don't know the solutions, we don't know how it's going to end, we don't have that happy ending. I promise you that as a host, I'll be as honest and authentic with you as I can. I'm going to share with you on some episodes what are some of my personal stories and struggles. I want to have those conversations. I want to have a place where we can gather and we can learn from one another, and we feel a sense of hope that we are going to come through it. We are going to make it through, even if we're right now stuck in the middle. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again here on The Middle. I'm Gail Condi, your host.